Welcome to Customer Service Academy Radio with author and customer experience expert Tony Johnson. Tony will share his vision for successful customer service, leadership, and business excellence, and speak to some of the most impactful leaders in business today. And now, here's Tony Johnson.
Hello, everybody. Customer Service Academy is on the air. I'm Tony Johnson, your customer experience speaker, consultant, and trainer. Today's episode is coming to you courtesy of Ignite Your Service Training and Consulting and 4XI Global Consulting and Solutions. Truly better together. Folks, I have the most amazing course out there, the 6 Canons of Customer Service. Head on over to thetonyjohnson.teachable.com to check out all the amazing courses over there right now and download the 6 Canons of Customer Service today. But we are having an amazing guest today. Today we are welcoming John Kim onto the show. John is the co-founder and CEO of Sendbird, a customer communications platform powering 4,000 of the world's most popular digital applications. Over 320 million people every month are routed using Sendbird, whose customers include DoorDash, Match Group, Virgin Mobile, and Noom. Some big names there. John is a successful serial entrepreneur and CEO. His first startup, Paprika Lab, was acquired by Gree, and he was Korea's all-time #1 pro gamer in the Unreal Tournament. John, it's so awesome to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
It's going to be fantastic. So we always start with the same question because we love to hear the lens of what folks are thinking. What does a great customer experience mean to you? From your lens as a consumer, as a business person, what is a great customer experience?
Yeah, so we define a great customer experience as 5 factors or 5 pillars of a great CX. One being helpful. So is a customer or customer support or customer services providing a responsive, proactive support as well as getting to a resolution. Ideally, an end-to-end resolution with a single person or being like AI. Second, being valuable. So does it create enough value for the customer compared to the price they're willing to pay, right? And also, how much of effort does it require to use the service or product? So the ease of use. Third would be reliability or reliable. So are we getting a consistent experience across all the channels, but over a long period of time? So over time, available ideally 24/7, 365 days a week. And then we can also, they're accountable. The service agents are accountable for the customer's benefits. Fourth would be empathetic. So are they, obviously being delightful, providing empathy and kindness, and also providing transparency. So if something was going on the customer issue side, are there follow-ups and providing transparent updates? And then last would be personalized. So do they actually remember who you are? Does the business remember who you are? And then your relationship with the business, are you a loyal customer? What are some of the issues that's ongoing with you? And again, across different channels, can they provide a consistent, personalized experience? So those are the 5 pillars that would make up a great customer experience.
Wow, that's fantastic. Folks, those are all writer-downers. Make sure that you really are taking a second to consider those because those are really fantastic. What defines a really great omnichannel experience as we start to talk about AI and all the things, right? And all the ways that customers interact with brands. From your standpoint, what should the listeners know about really, truly creating great omnichannel experiences?
Yeah, and I think we're calling this with a combination of AI, we're calling it the omnipresent AI. So out of the 5 factors that I just listed, whether it be personalized, valuable, helpful, empathetic, and reliable, I think probably like 3 factors are most related to omnichannel. One is being helpful. Are they responsive? Are they proactive? Are they actually providing resolution? Also reliability in terms of consistent experience across different channels. So one channel having fantastic experience, while another channel having terrible experience, really diminishes the brand's experience as a whole. So can you provide a consistency across different channels and making sure that your conversation that you're having with one channel through one channel carries over to another channel? There's a smooth, seamless handoff, right? And then also in terms of personalization, again, that if you have an ongoing issue, the other channel should be aware of that. So let's say you're on a phone call and on a customer support and you get hung up or disconnected along the way. If you go to mobile app or customer support over email or customer support ticket, they should have that context of where you left off so that regardless of the channel you're in, they continue to remember your context of the conversation and who you are as a customer. So by touching on those 3 factors, you can really create a very seamless omnichannel experience on top of that, what we're calling the omnipresent AI is that now this AI can actually talk to any channels you are engaging with in real time, always remembering who you are and then staying top of your latest issues. So I think having those kind of factors kind of fully provided by your service, you can really provide a great omnichannel experience.
Fantastic. And folks, you heard that, right? The handoff, the reduction of friction, this idea of AI bringing not just an omni-channel, but an omnipresent experience. So really, really great pieces to make sure you're taken care of there. So where should businesses start, John? And we've got a lot of folks who listen here, everywhere from small businesses to Fortune 200 executives listen. So we've got a wide swath. And we've got folks from finance, hospitality, restaurant, retail, you name it, right? We've got a pretty wide listener base. But a lot of folks are asking the same question. Where do we get started with AI? What's the point of departure? How do we even get going? Can you help folks find that starting point?
That's a great question. And by the way, all the industries you just mentioned are our ideal verticals that we primarily partner with, which is fantastic. And I think it's really easy to get started and probably it's easier than people think. And obviously, Sendbird.com would be a great place to start. But I think it's always like thinking through the lens of a customer. What does, let's say 3, 5, 10 years from now, what does a great customer experience look like? What will be the default mode, right? So example, nowadays, because we're spending so much time on AI agentic experience, building out the platform, working with our customers, by default, I had this like realization a couple of days ago where I was visiting one of the prospects website and there's a little chat bubble button, right? You click it. I was asking a couple of questions because I was curious to learn more about their business and I didn't get a response. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I was waiting for a couple of minutes. Then it dawned on me at this point, my mind is already defaulted to AI response. So when I didn't get a response in the next, 3, 5, 10 minutes, I realized, oh, actually, there's an actually human being on the other side of other side of this desk. So it's taking them quite a bit of time to get back to me. But I almost like by default, my brain is processing all the response should be done real time. Of course, there's going to be an AI. So when there isn't an AI that's like friendly and empathetic and be ready to answer my questions, I was kind of like panicking them in the moment. So 3, 5 years from now, all the businesses, all the customers will default to having a real-time response from AI that's capable, again, empathetic, this actually can problem solve things for you. So if that becomes a default, right? The companies that really lean into that change, and especially with the technology that's available today, that world is already possible. It's here. The future is here and now. So how do we lean into that? So as a business buyer, obviously there's a lot of friction into getting across that hurdle, a couple of challenges. But my recommendation is start with the smallest, most repeatable use case. Usually not a complex use case where it requires a lot of handoffs and a lot of like multiple departments chiming in, but instead start with a simple like tapping to your knowledge base, the FAQs, right? A very simple chatbot use case. But then what is the most simple, low risk action that chatbot can take? Would it be, oh, here's a way to change your password or change your delivery address and things like that. Although it may have some financial implications, ultimately those are repeated tasks that have relatively lower financial and reputational and legal risk for the business. Start with those very simple things. And when you connect those actions with a chatbot, that's really turning into AI agent experience. Start with those, have a low hanging fruit, that quick wins. And once you build the confidence, the intuition around like the ability and the reliability of these AI agents actions, then you can slowly expand to other knowledge base and other departments and other use cases. So you first want to get your foot into the doorsteps and then expand from there. So my recommendation is really look for those first quick wins.
That's great advice. We got a lot of small business owners who built their website on Wix and those kinds of things that listen. And even Wix now has some AI plug-in things where you can answer frequently asked questions, reset passwords. All the things you mentioned, John, are available at a very low price of entry and very low risk, even for folks who may have built it on a GoDaddy or a Wix or something like that through all these great plugins and stuff. So I think you make a really great point that don't wait, don't think it doesn't apply to you, don't think you can execute it because there are small ways to get started.
Yeah, especially when a couple of your competitors are defaulting to AI and you are slow to adopt an AI, all of your customers will expect that experience, right? So when they don't get that immediate response, call it 24/7, they think your brand is outdated, not progressive enough and not really customer centric. So they're going to start, going to your competitors. So you really want to lean into this trend. And also, I do want to caution people around like, or actually encourage people to test out different AIs. Even though underneath a lot of this like chatbots or even AI agents like ourselves, a lot of customers could be using, OpenAI's, ChatGPT or, Claude, Anthropic's, Claude engines. Actually, how you design and architect some of these AI agents do differ quite a bit in terms of the output quality and accuracy. So we actually have a running internal benchmark against all of the other kind of players out there. Even though we might be using something similar, again, like ChatGPT 4.0 or Claude 3.5, 3.7, the performance in how you kind of use the RAG and or Vertex databases, the performance and accuracy in the response time actually differs quite a bit. So we really want to kind of test out what's the best of breeds out there. So that's one kind of a tip.
It's a great tip. So, what are some of the biggest challenges that businesses are going to face in rolling out AI agents successfully? What are the watch outs as folks start to do this?
Think there are a couple of things. I like to look at through the lens of three kind of categories. One is psychology, and second is technology, and third is like financial and reputational challenges. Psychology is probably one of the biggest factor that's preventing businesses from adopting AI rapidly. One, it's like the anxiety coming from the uncertainty, and then losing like the sense of potentially losing control over how you interact with customers. But you'll quickly realize again, going for that quick win, understanding how accurate these AI bots or AI agents are today, just having that feedback loop, the first experience of real wins will really give you the confidence that, okay, I don't have to be super anxious about this. There's a way to have a controlled experiment, minimizing a risk while you roll this out. So kind of overcoming the psychology as a challenge for adopting AI. I think that's one challenge. Second is probably the most practical and realistic challenge is the technology. So how do you ingest the right set of data, the knowledge base? How do you integrate your workflows or existing customer support solutions and things like that? So there is that real work that needs to be done. Thankfully, a lot of businesses today already have some kind of a knowledge base, whether it be some PDF doc their support agents use or some kind of a help desk solution or knowledge base that's readily available on their website. A lot of the AI agents tools today, including Sendbird, makes it very, very easy to adopt or ingest those data sets. And then without any additional engineering work, you'll get really, really accurate responses from AI agents. So I want to kind of highlight that a lot of business today, or at least AI agents companies today, make it really, really easy to ingest those data. So feel free to test them out. And then one other thing is like, a lot of people think you gotta like give a lot of data to these AI agents. That's actually not true. You just need to provide what we call the gold standard data. So imagine you have 1,000 support agents or even just 100. You don't need to ingest all 100 people's support data. You just need to pick the top 10 to 20%. They usually provide the best results instead of going for the full data. So I want to encourage looking at those gold standard of data. And then also the other technological kind of challenges, testing a lot of things before rolling out to production. Because a lot of businesses are, again, that going back to the anxiety, before they roll out to production, we call it the vibe testing, right? You plug this AI agent on your website, some hidden page or some staging environment, and a couple of people go in, ask a couple of questions, and they answer fairly well. So you roll out to production and then chaos, right? Because in real life, a lot of customers ask things in a very, very kind of like exceptional or outlier way. So how you kind of mitigate that risk is something we internally have developed something called a test framework. So before you roll anything out, you can actually preload a lot of test cases or use AI to generate hundreds of test cases. So make sure that for even simple things like canceling your subscription or getting your forgotten password scenarios, you can actually do a robust testing before you roll out into production, so that again, removing that anxiety. And then one last piece on the technology challenge is that a lot of customers, once they roll out to production, they want to know that they can course correct those AIs. When something's not working, when they're missing a data, they want to be able to understand why it's not working and how they can go and fix it, right? So internally, we have this something called a value framework, where after rolling things out, we carefully monitor. AI will automatically monitor all of these CSAT scores and changing user behaviors, inaccuracy in answers, and they will actually provide the AI suggestions like, hey, there's some missing hole in your knowledge base. Is constantly getting low CSAT scores or just not getting good answers. So we'll automatically make those suggestions. But that lack of or feedback loop is something that provides a lot of challenge for businesses that are trying to adopt AI. And then lastly, this financial reputational challenge, right? What is the potential exposure of financial risks or the legal risks or even the PR nightmare, right? I think there was a case where maybe like a year ago, Chevy rolled out this AI where this customer tried to jailbreak the AI chatbot to selling a Chevy truck or something for $1. They were successful at it. They went to court, and apparently, the court thought, well, it still represents your business, so you still have to sell the truck for or car for $1. So those are real financial and reputational risks for a business. That's why going back, AI agents actually do differ in quality. So you want to make sure that you're working with the right vendor, but also make sure that you have those testing frameworks and feedback frameworks so you can continue to monitor, course correct, and test before even rolling things out.
I think there's a lot of really great stuff in there. But folks, if you want the right or downer out of that, we've talked about it on this show. When you train your employees, role playing is crucial. What John just talked about was literally role playing with your AI. So if you didn't write that down because running your AI through the paces and using AI to generate like talk about chicken and the egg there, right? But using AI to generate your test cases to feed them in to see how your AI responds to see if you can break it in advance is a genius idea. So it really does take the way we train people to the way we're training our AI agents. So I think that's fantastic. So fast forward 5 years. What does an average person's interaction with an AI agent look like in a daily basis, right? What's that going to look like?
Yeah, let me answer in two folds. One, in a more broader, kind of bigger kind of theme, we have this at Sendbird is called the A2A economy. A2A means agent to agent economy. So imagine a world where you as a consumer can hire hundreds of AI agents, and you don't even have to deal with the complexity. You just have to talk to one supervisor agent. It's gonna go out and plan out your perfect family vacation, order flowers for your, whatever wedding anniversary, and then take care of your kids' education, making sure that they're ordering the right lunches. So AI agent will understand your schedules and priorities and preferences and dietary restrictions and take care of those things for you. So every single consumers will be have the superpower to increase their productivity and then remove friction in their life by 10 to 100 folds. Maybe not in 5 years, but within 10 years, I think it's very, very, very likely. But also on the business side, if you look at the entire supply chain, the businesses will be interacting with other businesses and other consumers through AI agents. So no longer, if you just look at the demo of the operator in the OpenAI, it's the AI that's clicking through the website that was designed for humans. That is a transient phase. Fast forward a couple of years, a lot of AI agents will be interacting through what they call it the MCPs. So AI agents will be able to order, make transactions, get order updates, request refund, all of that through another AI agents. So once you have each businesses being represented by AI agents, these AI agents will be able to transaction with the entire supply chain of the industry. And at the tail end will be consumer interacting with the business, right? So the entire ecosystem, all the transactions in the world will more likely to happen through AI than a human going through a website and doing manual, gathering the information and making transactions. So that is the world we think is going to happen. So if you look through the lens of an individual customer interacting with the AI agent, just like what we mentioned before, it will be 24/7, of course. It will be AI default. So every business you interact with you'll be interacting with an AI agent that's always responsive, remembers who you are, and is super personalizable, can do end-to-end workflow, full-on resolution, understand everything there is to understand about you. So it'll be almost like going to a mom's and pop shop who knew from your childhood day, knows everything about your family, not in a creepy way, but in a very, very caring way. It's like, hey, how's the order? How's the bag you bought last time? Is it still working well? If you have any issue, I can bring it in. I can fix it for you. By the way, there's a new kind of event that's happening pretty soon. Do you want to come? I can give you a special ticket. So there's going to be a blend of marketing, sales, and customer support all in mixed into one. That's very, very personalized to you, and it'll feel like a very high-end concierge or almost like a moms and pop shop who really gets you. And that is kind of the AI agent experience that we think is going to happen in the next 5 years.
That sounds fantastic. Folks, if you are loving this show, and I'm sure you are, make sure that you scroll on down, leave 5 stars, say something nice, share it with your friends. and help keep Customer Service Academy one of the top podcasts in the world. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much to FeedSpot for including us on their top 10 customer service and top 10 customer experience podcast list for 2025. Thanks so much for that. So, John, this has been great so far. Are you ready to move on to the lightning round?
Good, let's do it.
All right, here we go. 5 quick questions, 5 quick thoughts to get to know you just a little bit better as a person. What's the best thing that you've read recently?
So yeah, I recently read the book called The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin. He's an all-time kind of like national champion in chess in America, but also one of the national champions in Tai Chi. And it's a really fascinating story of how one can really master their craft and get to elite status, like national, international status, and one thing, but transfer a lot of that knowledge to the next thing. And this particularly resonated with me because, as you mentioned in the early intro, I used to be an all-time champion in Unreal Tournament, a lot of first-person shooters in Korea, and world's number 3 player back then, way back. And a lot of what I do in business, there's a lot of lessons learned that I'm carrying over from that professional gaming days. Not super intuitive initially, but there's a lot of like lessons and kind of way to kind of optimize your business. And there's a lot of things that we can carry over. And if you look at some of the businesses in the tech space today, a lot of professional gamers actually became founder CEOs of massive companies. And there's something interesting about that too. So I think there's this book kind of reminded me of that.
Great. I'll have to look it up. I have not read that book. Where's your favorite vacation spot?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. How about your favorite food?
I would say Japanese, but I recently went to volunteering in Thailand, and Thailand now is neck to neck with Japanese food.
Okay, so you got a horse race there. How about the most interesting job you've ever had? I sense it might be the gamer job, but I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, you got me there. So it's a professional gaming experience, but actually on the side, I ran one of the largest online gaming community in Korea, and I actually enjoyed that piece even more than playing the game itself.
You know, you find that with a lot of professional athletes that they love playing the game, but they also love working with associations that work with athletes as well. So I find that very interesting in kind of the area of competition. And how about anything you're binge watching right now? Anything good you're watching that you need to let everybody know about?
Yeah, I don't really watch TV, but when I do, I watch stand-up comedy because English is not my first language. So to do B2B sales, I had to learn some English, and stand-up comedians are my English teacher.
What's a great tidbit. I love that because it gives you kind of conversational language skills, right? Yep. I think
Yep.
that's amazing. So, John, this has been outstanding. How can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about you and what you do and Sendbird and the whole bit?
Yeah, very easy. Obviously, come visit Sendbird.com, and you can always drop me an email at john@sendbird.com, and you can follow me on x.com at doshkim, Doshkim.
Fantastic. And everybody, we will put all of that information in the show notes. We'll put links in the show notes. You're going to be down there leaving 5 stars anyway. So go ahead and click on all that amazing stuff and check out Sendbird and John. That's awesome. Well, John, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's fun.
So, folks, that is our show. Remember, we are still in the middle of the great service comeback. It is your time to own the field. Do it on experience, do it on service, do it on hospitality, do it on solving a problem people need, and you will never have to worry about the economics and competing on price. Also, if you want to learn more, not only check out John's great links, but head on over to Amazon.com and check out my book, Together We Serve. That's Together We Serve by Tony Johnson. You can get that on paperback, digital, and audio to learn all my secrets of customer experience, hospitality, and employee engagement. But until next time, I've been Tony Johnson, your customer experience strategist and trainer, reminding you to keep your customers at the center of everything you do, because that's where the most amazing things are possible. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will talk to you next week.
This has been Customer Service Academy Radio with Tony Johnson. Tony is available to speak at your event, meeting, or workshop. Have a powerful customer-focused day.